Howat from Next Best Picture. Man, it is great to talk with you again. I saw the show back at Sundance, and so I've been excited to talk with you about it ever since. So I appreciate your time today.
Oh, I appreciate seeing you again. I loved talking to you last time, I remember.
Appreciate that. Well, first, I do want to applaud your bravery in showcasing your embarrassing wisdom teeth photos as Harper's lock screen. You couldn't pay me to put mine out in the public, so bravo.
Yeah, I thought there was no other picture that Harper would pick. It had to be that one.
It's so good. Well, I want to start at the beginning of this project for you. Was this always a TV show, or did it start as a movie early on? What were you picturing when this idea first came?
It was always a TV show, and as much as I argued with myself and people argued with me, because I had done two movies and knew how indie movies were made and got bought. Everyone wanted it to be a movie, but it was always a TV show. I've always loved TV for what it can do and how we can really dive into characters and also how we can start and then stop and take a break and go back when we're ready and have kind of control over when to dive into the next section. With movies, I'm in love with movies because you're in a dark room with 50 other people and you're introduced to characters in the same sitting that you're experiencing their climax and their resolution. And I love that. I think it's so powerful. If you take a break with a movie, you're kind of screwed because it's that it's not meant to be that. With TV, it's meant to, all right, this is too much. I need a week or I need 2 weeks. My favorite show ever is Normal People. And I loved talking to people about how they were getting through it. There were some people who were like, yeah, I did it all in one day and oh boy. Or it's taking 3 months and I still can't finish the finale because I don't want it to end. It's I love all of that. And I think that that's what the best TV is it's just their character studies and they really they challenge you to decide when you're ready to heal these things or experience these things.
Well, and not only does it take a deep dive into these characters, it also takes the really big swing of having you and Lili play Hal and Harper as adults, of course, but also as first and third graders.
Yes.
I was shocked at how well that works. It's the sort of idea that could turn out really poorly if not done well. And it just works so well here. How did you have the confidence to know that it would land?
I think it's the only reason why I'm able to make anything. It was never a question of whether it would work. I knew that it would. And if it didn't, it's definitely not for you. I guess the biggest thing was I knew it would land as a whole. I never was worried about, okay, when we first introduced this concept, are people going to get it? I was never thinking about that because the confusion is also part of it. I like to really think that Hal and Harper are telling this story, whether they realize it or not. They're giving it to us, and I don't think Hal and Harper really would know why exactly they're going back to first and third grade and why they're living in these certain scenes and why there's certain flashes happening or those things. It's not necessarily about, will people know what's happening when it's happening? Will people laugh when it's funny? It's not. I let go of all that and think about it as a whole and know that in that finale, you might not be able to articulate why it's landing, but it'll land and it'll feel like the door was over time gently opened up for you and you can go in there and feel what you need to feel.
For sure. Well, I want to talk about your approach both as a director and actor, specifically for those sequences, playing Hal and Harper as kids, because you're not strictly playing little kids. Like you said, it's sort of like adult Hal and Harper sort of remembering this or telling this story. So there's an added level of maturity that these first and third graders have. How did you approach directing those sequences, working with alongside the children in those sequences, things like that?
I just trusted myself and trusted Lily when she was doing it. Like I have this like really it's like so hard to describe, but I feel like as a 7-year-old, I was anxious and desperate in a way that I don't think 7-year-olds should be. And in those scenes where I'm like trying to make conversation and clearly like it's like an adult would, but it's really like, no, it's just that kids aren't supposed to have that survival anxiety desperation thing, and they have learned how to talk to their dad who isn't getting words out, and they've learned how to get him to talk, and they've learned how to take care of him and take care of themselves. Or Hal's learned how to be taken care of by Harper. Like he's learned how to beg her in a way that she'll, fine, all right, got it, or whatever it is. Like the neediness and the helplessness is learned, and the trying to connect is like I just like had to kind of not think too much about it. Like I was never game planning like how is this scene gonna work, and is this scene gonna be funny? Like I had to let go of, yes, I thought it was funny, but I had to let go of, is it a funny scene when I'm talking to the little kid? Because it's not about does this get the laugh or does this, it's just you kind of have to just feel the absurdity of it and also be really distracted by the fact that it feels so real. Like it's like why does it feel like not weird? Like it because I think that's the thing, is on the page it could read kind of weird and people would bring it up like, is this too like, is it gonna work? And I was just like, it's not about whether it works. It's like, it's about what Hal needs, and that's the show. And that's like, and that's, and maybe it's about what I need as the, like I wrote this for a reason, and I'm just kind of having to go with my gut on like, I need to live in this scene. And some of the scenes it'd be like, I feel like we're living in this too long. I'm like, I know, like Hal's living in it too long. And, or like something would feel like, it's too many. Like there was this shower scene that makes me cry really hard where dad gets in the shower and he's like going through this like depressive week, and Kate's really frustrated because he's missing the pregnancy. He's just gone. And he finally like gets outside of himself enough to like get naked in the shower with her. And then there's this dagger of the way I cut it was like, I showed it to people and I was just like, it's moving me, and I need it. And it's like, and then people would say like, well, are people going to know that this is the mom and this is what he's, and I'm like, I don't think dad knows. Like, I don't think dad is like, oh, here it comes again. Because if he knew, oh, here it comes again, he would be able to articulate to her, I'm having this thing again. It's like, these are really dysfunctional people. And I really wanted to show that. And I knew always, as I guess they're tellers, I don't like, they're not their directors or their writers, but or creators. I'd like to think of it as like the way I was listening to what they needed and what the show needed. I just knew when I had it. And I knew, and I always, my kind of test is when I show someone something and they're like, I don't think it works. And I feel indifferent. Like sometimes I show people stuff and they're like, I don't think so. And then I feel like, yeah, I don't think so either. But then there are other times when someone's like, I don't think that works. And it's so unmoving to me that I'm like, that's when I know, all right, I totally validate that you're not thinking this is working. I'm going to keep it anyway because it's feeling like it has to be this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that honesty for the characters is why it works so well to play them as kids. You're not playing it as like, haha, look at this adult acting alongside kids. Like
Right.
there's funny moments, but it's not like
Right.
just for hot, shits and giggles. It's because of the honesty of the moment. Prepping for those scenes, was there much of a training regimen to be able to hit those jump shots, like 7-year-old Hal?
Um, that was those were the only things where I would like talk with people, like the producers. I would be like, does this um is does this make sense? And they would sometimes be like, I don't know, but it's really funny. Just keep doing it. And those were the times that were nice where you do free up to be like, just do what's funniest right now.
Yeah,
And those were like the most fun days on set too.
it was so good. But you did bring up pacing, and I wanted to talk about the editing of the show
Yeah.
specifically because there's so much, cutting back and forth between time periods, cross-cutting, quick flashes, so many montages as well.
Yeah.
How did you approach the edit of this? Did you approach each episode in an edit as
Yeah.
one thing? Okay, tell me about that process.
I did do one episode at a time. And it's funny, I always wanted to, but I never ended up watching all 8 episodes in one sitting. I always like wanted to because I was like, people are gonna do this, like let's just do it. And I never did because I don't know why. But yeah, I approached each episode as its own thing. And um and I think that was important because like, and that's kind of more of what we're talking about with like, why was it TV and not a movie? I think like I always wanted each episode to stand alone, but always also knew that they were a part of this bigger thing. But there are also like stages. Like each episode is kind of this stage of something. And I think that was, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I did go each episode at a time.
That's cool. What was your approach to making those montages land? I mean, both the music of this show is incredible, both the score and like song choices throughout. Just really crafts a really effective vibe. I don't know a smarter way to put it than that, but it just
Yeah.
feels really effective.
I'll always be like hopelessly in love with music set to images.
Mhm.
The music to me like like when I'm writing, the music dictates what I'm writing. And like when I figure out like I'll write something and I'll know I want it to be a montage. Because I think montages just like go down really easily. Like for me, they do. I like them as a break, but also like you can kind of autopilot cry, or you can autopilot zone out, or you can autopilot just kind of nod your head along. And so I like them a lot, but I think they also, the biggest part about those montages and like the specific songs are every single song was written into the script.
Wow.
And that it has to be that way because the way I write is I'll write a montage and I'll know like it's a song like this or whatever. And when I find the song, I'll listen to it and that's what unlocks the montage. Like the music always has the final say. And like I only get like in the finale, when I thought of Garden Song, all of a sudden that montage just like opened up in this massive
It's
way.
my favorite Phoebe Bridgers song. When it came on, I was like, oh, come on.
It's so good. And so much of that montage I hadn't written until I figured out that that was the song. And it just it dictates so much, not just in the montage, but in the actual show, like the feelings of those songs.
So good. My time's running out. Last question before I let you go. You produced Hal Harper independently, which you don't see a lot of that in the TV space. Obviously, you have 2 features under your belt, both also produced independently. So you're no stranger to making things independently. But how did making an entire show feel different? How big of a leap was that from making Shithouse and Cha Cha Real Smooth?
It was similar in a lot of ways, but the hardest part was just the scope. Like the movies that I've made were like 120 pages, 115 pages, and this was like 320 pages. And so I'm directing a scene from the pilot and then directing a scene from the finale. And Mark Ruffalo is like, where are we? And I'm having to tell him where we are. And we didn't have, I just didn't have, I had more money than I had on Shithouse, but like way less money than I had making Cha Cha per page. And so it was kind of, it was hard. Like we didn't have that much money. So that was kind of the big leap, was like, people were kind of confused a lot because we weren't shooting one episode at a time. We were block shooting, and that always happens with movies, but when it's ×3, it's harder, and we had less money than, so it was really difficult, but I had been with the show for so long that it was easier in a lot of ways too, because I wasn't like with Cha Cha, I feel like I was having to figure things out with everyone else. And with Hal Harper, I knew everything, and it was just a matter of people asking me. And there weren't a lot of discoveries on set, honestly. It was just like the only discovery was like, I know that I don't have what I need, and I'm not sure what I need, but I'll know when I see it. And with Cha Cha or even Shithouse, it was like, I think we got it. And I figured it out in the edit, but Hal Harper is just kind of way more self-assured.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait for more people to see it when it drops on MUBI. Cooper, again, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it, and I loved Hal Harper.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.